What is up, guys? Welcome to today's video. For this one, the action takes us to the Italian Serie A for the massive fixture taking place on Friday the 8th of December at the Allianz Arena between Juventus and Napoli. Now, the last time these two sides met was on the 23rd of April last season. Juventus were trying to get into those top 4 spots to qualify for the Champions League, while Napoli were chasing down their first Scudetto title since the days of Diego Maradona. Things looked good for Juventus right up until the dying minutes of the match, when in the 3rd minute of injury time, the visitors found their winning goal courtesy of Raspadori. It was a goal that broke Juventus' hearts, but it elevated Napoli to a state of euphoria that they had not seen in many, many years. Juventus would go on to qualify for the Champions League, but due to issues behind the scenes, they would be kicked out of UEFA competition for the season. Napoli, on the other hand, would eventually lift that Scudetto trophy, and the celebrations would go on late into the night. We start off our team analysis with Juventus. The last 5 fixtures for the Bianconeri have ended in 4 wins and a single draw, their last match being a 2-1 win away at Monza. A player I would like to highlight for Juventus firstly here is Locatelli. It is 1 goal and a single assist for Locatelli. Locatelli's duties are more defensive in nature. Think of him kind of like a mix between Arturo Vidal and Andrea Pirlo. His job is mostly to destroy or to break down the opposing team's counterattacks and build up play. And he's very, very good at reading the game and doing this. He will be facing a stern test, though, in a Napoli team that loves to attack on the counter. So he'll have to be quick and aware of exactly what is happening everywhere all the time. Next up, I want to talk Adrien Rabiot with 2 goals and 3 assists. While Locatelli will be having more defensive duties, it will be up to Rabiot to have more offensive duties. Incredibly, that first goal that they scored against Monza was scored by Adrien Rabiot. So Rabiot does have the ability to find the goals when it's necessary. Rabiot has also really stepped up and sort of taken up that spot that was held by Paul Pogba in the past, where he can carry the ball from deep in or he can play fantastic passes. But either way, Rabiot is an incredibly dangerous player for Juventus, both on and off the ball. And finally, I want to talk Federico Chiesa with 4 goals and a single assist. While Rabiot and Locatelli will be keeping things sturdy in the center, it will be down to Federico Chiesa to provide some creativity out wide on the wings. Now, Chiesa is very flexible in the fact that he can play pretty much anywhere in the attacking third. And as I said, with his 4 goals and his single assist, it shows that he can get those goals, but he can create those goals as well. But I think in this match in particular, Chiesa's duties will be different from what he's used to. In this one, he will be more required to watch whichever winger is playing on the same wing as him for the opposing team, be it Politano or Kvaratskhelia. It will be down to Chiesa to ensure that his defense is not exposed when it comes to Napoli counterattacks, because as we all know from Napoli last season, they can be very deadly on the counter. And speaking of Napoli, the last 5 matches for Napoli have ended in 1 win, 1 draw and 3 losses. Their last match being a 3-0 loss at home against Inter Milan. Napoli are on a putrid run of form right now, in complete contrast to Juventus. A player I can highlight for Napoli firstly is Zielinski with his 3 goals and 2 assists. While I've spoken about Locatelli, who will be more defensive, and Rabiot, who will be doing the best of both worlds, Zielinski's role here will be strictly offensive. He will be deployed in that little hole between Juventus's defense and their midfield to just sort of create those passes into the attacking third to either one of his wingers or to the number 9 playing in front of him. So Zielinski will be the man who makes things tick for Napoli in the center of their midfield. Next up, I want to talk Vicha Kvaratskhelia. With 4 goals and 4 assists, Kvaratskhelia started the season off with a bang and has just seemed to have fizzled out. I would say for Napoli, Kvaratskhelia is their key player, because when he plays well, Napoli play well. But when he goes missing, Napoli are just all over the show. Kvaratskhelia has, I would say, struggled lately. We haven't seen those incredible runs on the wing or those incisive passes or even any of those gorgeous goals that we know he's capable of. If ever there was a match for him to find form, This is the match where the Georgian really needs to come to the forefront for Napoli. And finally, I want to talk Ostigard. Ostigard is a new signing for Napoli. He was signed as a centre-back to sort of fill that hole left vacant by Kim Min-jae following his departure to Bayern Munich. He's got 2 goals so far, so I mean, we already know he can score the goals if it's necessary. But I think defensively right now, Napoli are looking a bit too exposed too often. Ostigard needs to be on point in this match. He will be facing a very offensive Juventus team that is hungry to recapture their Scudetto title. And I really do just think that if Ostigard plays the same way that Napoli played against Inter, they will be torn to shreds time and time again. So he really needs to make sure that his focus is really just everywhere at this point. He needs to be very aware of everything that is happening on the pitch around him. Okay, on to the head-to-head in the S3M2 Verdict. This match is heavily skewed in favor of one of these teams. The last 5 have ended in 1 win for Juventus, 1 draw, and 3 wins for Napoli. So it would be easy to say Napoli come into this one as favorites, but then we look at the table. Juventus are 2nd with 33 points. Napoli are 5th with 24 points. That is a 11-point difference between the two sides, especially considering there's just 3 places between them. 11 points is a lot. But then also we got to look at the recent form. Juventus having been undefeated in their last 5. Napoli, their last 5 basically been mostly defeats. Napoli are definitely struggling at the back right now, but I feel like both sides are struggling in terms of getting goals. Their number 9s are misfiring terribly. Both Victor Osimhen and Dusan Vlahovic are just completely off form, which is why I left them out of our team analysis portion of this video, because I feel like both of these players are just not there right now. The difference though for me is that Vlahovic is constantly talked about in the tabloids about transfers to the Premier League, but he and Juventus have both gone out and said that Vlahovic is fully committed to staying with the Bianconeri. Victor Osimhen, on the other hand, has also been spoken about a lot in the tabloids about leaving Napoli. The difference is there, Napoli's executives are out there saying that he will not be leaving, but he has been pretty quiet about it so far. And I think it's actually more believable that Vlahovic will stay than it is that Osimhen will stay. If anything, I think Napoli need to start planning for life without Victor Osimhen. And we've already seen in big matches without him how they struggle. Another thing that I'd like to emphasize here is the fact that when you look at Juventus right now, even if Vlahovic is not scoring, you have other players who are willing to step up and get those goals. I don't see that at Napoli right now. I feel as though if you silence the number 9 at Napoli, Napoli are kind of toothless going forward, and that is a big, big problem. That is partly why I think Juventus will win this match. I think Juventus are grinding out results right now. They're forcing those 3 points back home. Napoli, on the other hand, just don't have that grit and that determination right now. They seem to have lost that little bit of spark that they had last season. It would not surprise me if Napoli turn out to be kind of like the Leicester City of the Serie A, where they win the Scudetto and then it's just slow and steady decline from there. Hopefully they don't go the way Leicester did, where they end up relegated in a few seasons. I don't personally think that Napoli will go there, but I do think it's looking very, very gloomy for them right now. They're struggling to get results. They're struggling to hold on to key players. As I said, there's always chatter about players like Osimhen leaving, but there's also talk about Zielinski leaving, and worst of all, perhaps to Inter Milan. There's talk about Kvaratskhelia going to Real Madrid, whereas with Juventus, it's a case of our stars are our stars. And with Napoli, it's a case of our stars are our stars for the season, before somebody else comes up and takes them away next season. And I just feel like Napoli are slowly going to lose those players who just created so much magic last season. One by one, those players will be leaving, and we've already seen it at Napoli. But I think for this match in particular, I think Juve really do have this one in the bag. I'm thinking probably 2-0 to the old lady. hi. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time and the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Um, Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button. So you know exactly what to do. Um, Thank you so much. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks. Stay safe.